can you as parents help your child to cope up with this stress? Yeah? We know all this. Be your child's friend more than a parent. But honestly tell me, swearing upon God, how many of us do this? Okay. Out of the whole lot, there are 2 people who do it.
My husband does, I do.
Okay, perfect. Then at least one partner is doing it. That is very good. Oh, wow. So then you're a very good father. You are engaging her to things that so as she's occupied with you and she feels a part of what you're doing. That is a very good point. But at certain times you have to also remember and be very sure of this. Just check on that. Whether is she interested in doing this or just because you are saying so she is doing it. See, there is always 2 things. You are definitely doing with a positive thing, a positive attitude that she feels a part of what you're doing. But what if your child does not want to be a part of what you are doing? So you have to just check on that and then see. That you will come to know from your child's behavior. There are certain things where she might be wanting to do it, so she's doing it with whole energy and everything. And there might be certain things where she's just doing because you've just asked her to chop certain things. So you have to spend time with your children. Communicate with them. I know they're too small, but in their own ways they can communicate. How will they communicate? I'll tell you. So when children misbehave, try to understand their behavior instead of punishing them. Give your child a stable environment. Allow them free time. Allow them what they want to do because they are, I told you, they are tapping up their creativity, they are learning, they are exploring. The more you put bars, the more they will want to do it. Let them do it. So out of 10 things, you would say no to all the 10, they will not listen. Out of those 10, you choose 1 or 2 that are really very important and you have to say no. There you put your foot down and say no and be firm. But rest 8 things, you can just let them be. So you have to prioritize where you have to and where you have to not. Play is the primary language of children. So we say, play, let them have free time because it is supposed to be the primary language of a child. This is how they will learn. This is the first way that they are started learning. It is whether walk on a beach, whether it is cycling, whether it is actively playing, storytelling, dancing, it could be anything. Avoiding the hyper-parenting trap. I love this word, a hyper-parenting trap. When they make an A, you want them to make a perfect A. This line has to be just perfect. It has to meet in the center and then it has to go like this. When you color a picture, your color should not go out of the margin line. I mean, you have to write perfect. You have to do everything perfect. Don't forget your children are children and not many adults. They are going to do that. Of course, so that's why I say to encourage is a good thing. To force is a bad thing. There is a very thin line of differentiation between forcing and encouraging. You have to encourage the child to do the better job because he has to get better. But you can't force him by saying, oh, you just have to do this the way it is. Because every time you criticize is 1 point less. So if I criticize you that you've not made this A right, khatam, I lacked in not making the A very well. This is the starting. This is how it grows. When the child grows, your criticism also grows. So see, when you criticize, so suppose the same example, A not made properly, there is one parent who will react by saying, hey, this is not perfect, see the line is coming out, do it vapas, do it again. This is one way. This is where you are demoralizing the child. There is another way where you would have said, oh, I like the way that you've made, but I think it could have been a little better. What do you think? Okay, Mama, let me try once again. This is the way then they will do. So this is encouraging and that is demoralizing.